Okay, so your top thread is going to be a color that matches your fabric, because you're going to see all the shearing lines. I chose pink because there's a lot of pink in this, but you just want it to make sure that your top thread matches your fabric. Now your bobbin is going to be the elastic, so you just put it in the same way you would a regular bobbin with regular thread. And it's just as easy as using regular thread. There's nothing really much to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on a seam, and I actually start on my hem. The reason I do that is because you're going to have a lot of like ruffling at the top if you start kind of down here below the hemline. This will all kind of cinch up, and if you like that look, that's fine. I like to do it on the hem. So I'm going to start on my seam. The main thing about shearing is you need to have it on the longest length possible. My length is 4. Some digital machines actually have a shearing setting, so if you just set that, then you have it pretty easy. But if you have a manual machine or non-digital, you want to set it on the longest length possible. Mine's a 4. Now, every machine is different. I kind of found with my machine that if I lower my tension a little bit, it tends to shear up a little bit tighter. So I normally have it in between 3 and 4, so when I do shearing, I actually put it to as low as a 2, and that works for my machine. But you kind of have to play with your machine a little bit and practice before you get a feel for exactly what tension you want to put it on. Okay? You always backstitch when you start shearing, and also when you end shearing, because otherwise the elastic's going to fall right out. Okay? Okay, so I backstitched. Backstitch again. Okay, now as you can see, it hasn't really done too much yet. Shearing kind of works, the more lines of shearing you do, the tighter it gets. So if you're saying to yourself, oh my gosh, it's not tight enough, this isn't going to look right, just keep going until you've done as many lines as you need, and then we'll go from there. After you finish a line, what I do is kind of a double, I guess, security thing to make sure the elastic doesn't come out. Is I actually take the 2 elastic pieces and I tie them in a knot. We did backstitch, so the elastic is locked in there on both sides, but just to make sure it has an even longer life, I double knot it again. Okay, and then you just want to trim your elastic and your thread so it doesn't get in the way of your next shearing lines. Okay, this is the last part. What you're going to do is you're going to have a nice hot iron, and then you're just going to spritz it with some water from your iron. You can already see it kind of cinching up a little bit. And then you're just going to steam right over it. And then you see it cinch right up. And turn over the other side. Okay, our next step is to add the straps. Okay, so what I did is I actually tried this on my daughter, and then I pinned where I wanted the straps to be. Okay, so I have one there and one here. You need to take out your elastic. So we're done shearing. Put your regular thread back in. Now, for the shearing, for my daughter, I did I did 8 shearing lines. I could do a couple more. Mine, I'm tall, so I had to do 30 shearing lines. I think maybe average would be like 25. But it's really easy. All you have to do is just, when you're done, just, kind of try it on and see if you need to do more. So, what I'm going to do is sew on my straps. What I did also is, hopefully you can see, when you sew it on, I kind of angled it a little bit towards the back of her neck, so it kind of lays a little bit flatter when she wears it. And when you sew it, you kind of want to just sew it on the lines that you already have there, on your shearing lines already, just so you don't see too much extra thread. Make sure you pull out your pin. Back stitch. And then I just go over it once, and then I back stitch over it again. Okay, so I did that one. So now I have my straps shown up. Okay, so here's the finished product. I actually tried it on my daughter, and I needed to add 2 more lines of shearing. So she has 12 lines total. Okay, and then here are the straps. And then there's the back.